So I'm going to ask everybody to please rise for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I want to thank our friends from Catholic Community Choir for singing the national anthem. And now I'd like to welcome Mike Rank to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Mike Rank. I'm chair of the board here at the Chamber of Commerce, and it's my privilege tonight to welcome you. I have to honestly say it's been a long time coming. It's great to see so many faces here, and it's also great to see everyone dressed up. I don't know about you, but over the last 2 years, putting on a suit and tie were just not my thing, and it was very difficult today, but it's great to see everyone here and dressed up. Enjoy tonight. Enjoy celebrating all these tremendous honorees we have with us tonight, and enjoy being part of the Delaware County Chamber, who really has helped us survive over the last 2 years. And we want to thank them and thank everyone for being here tonight. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thank you, Mike. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Trish McFarland, and I'm the president of the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. And we're really excited to be here with you in person this evening. While the past 2 years have been full of changes, challenges, balancing, and adapting, the Chamber has only been successful thanks to our core belief in driving business forward. Regardless of the situations any of us faced, we were focused on one thing: getting through it and being better than we were when we started, and we have done just that. Our strength has been shown through our partnerships and fantastic volunteers. You'll hear from many of the people and organizations that have partnered with us and grown our reach and impact. We are so grateful for our amazing volunteers and generous sponsors. So I just want to take a minute to thank our sponsors here this evening: our platinum sponsor, Energy Transfer; our gold sponsors, Independence Blue Cross and Comcast Business; our silver sponsors, AmeriHealth Caritas, Aqua, Bars, Gowie, Amon and Foltz, Brinker Simpson, Crocher Health System, Mainline Today, Sharon Bank, the Foundation for Delaware County, Delaware County Community College, LPL Financial, Trinity Health, Mercy Catholic Medical Center, Mercy Fitzgerald Campus, Meridian Bank, Oliver Heating and Cooling, WSFS Bank, PICO, Warner Associates, Inquire and Monster.com, SAP, BHCU, Franklin Mint Federal Credit Union, Cabrini University, Trinity Health Mercy Life, Newman Center for Leadership, TD Bank, M&T Bank, St. Joseph's University Hall School for Business, Naples Realty Services, Nature's Land, Catholic Community Choir, Toledo's, Tomorrow's Utilities, and River Avenue Digital. Thank you for your support. I'd now like to recognize the board of the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce and the foundation of the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. And I'd like to ask you all to stand now and be recognized. So don't be shy. You're not shy in our board meeting. So stand now so we can recognize you for all of the great work that you do. Thank you. So each of our honorees tonight have received citations from the Senate, from Delaware County Council, and the State House. I'd like to recognize all of our elected officials that are here with us this evening. So Senator Tim Carney, Senator John Kane, State Representative Leanne Kruger, State Representative Dave Deloso, and County Councilwoman Dr. Monica Taylor. Now I'd like to bring up Joe Massaro from Energy Transfer. Joe?
Good evening, I'm Joe Massaro, Lead Specialist, Public Affairs from Energy Transfer. If you're not familiar with Energy Transfer, we are one of the largest midstream pipeline companies in the United States. We operate and maintain about 90,000 miles of pipelines in 38 states. We move the hydrocarbons that make our daily lives possible. As a company, we have about 15,000 employees. 1,100 of those are in Pennsylvania. We're proud of our past and excited for our future here in Pennsylvania, and specifically Delaware County, as we work to bring more resources to the region for businesses to take advantage of. But the real reason I'm here tonight, it's my pleasure to welcome our keynote speaker this evening to share her story. Regina Harrison, President and Chief Executive Officer at the African American Chamber of Commerce of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. Regina bravely took this role in the midst of a pandemic and has started the Building Back Black initiative to help black business owners gain access to capital, as it's been a long-standing roadblock throughout the pandemic. Please welcome Regina Harrison.
Good evening. Good evening, and thank you, Joe, for that warm welcome. Again, I am Regina A. Harrison. I am the proud President and CEO of the African American Chamber for Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. I am pleased to be here tonight with the Delaware County Chamber, community members and business leaders working to move Pennsylvania business forward. Our business ecosystem is in a critical transition. As a result of the COVID pandemic, we've seen the underlying conditions affecting Black businesses rise to the surface. A lack of access to capital, systemic barriers, and infrastructure disinvestment have compounded the negative impact of the pandemic that all small businesses face here in the Commonwealth. When we talk about addressing these barriers, we must first acknowledge the multi-generational disinvestment and be willing to rectify it. As many of you know, this year's the 100th anniversary of the decimation of Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where a racially charged mob set fire to 35 blocks of Black-owned businesses, homes, churches, and even a hospital. It's hard to imagine what would have become of Greenwood, Oklahoma, 100 years later. But we do know problems still exist in moving Black businesses forward. Researcher Stephen Rogers at Northwestern University found that if Black spending with Black businesses rose from the current 3% to 10%, it would create 1 million jobs and provide economic security to countless Black households. That's why at the African American Chamber, we focused around a Build Back Black initiative that works to address unique challenges and barriers faced by Black businesses. Building Back Black is not just one program or one action, it's a mindset. To address real, substantial, and ingrained barriers, we have to have a holistic, targeted, and intentional approach. So what does this actually look like? To start, it's acknowledging that Black businesses aren't invested in at equitable rates, nor are the commercial corridors that they are based in. Equitable investments and capacity building for Black entrepreneurs are vital, as are expanded job and educational opportunities with true pathways to mobility and pay and leadership. Most importantly, we need to address the safety of neighborhoods and infrastructural barriers that diminish our commercial pursuits vitality. It's being intentional in our everyday lives as individuals and corporate citizens. Frequenting and purchasing from Black-owned businesses puts dollars directly into the Black community. By recognizing this and being intentional in our approach, we started the Black Box to encourage consumers to buy from Black entrepreneurs. This campaign highlights AACC members of the retail, service, food, and beverage industries through conveniently advocating for marketing and selling their products together. It's recognizing that access to expertise is incredibly important to build a successful business, and that our Black businesses have to fight hard to gain entry to experts. So we've invested in programs with major corporate partners to fill those expertise gaps and form peerships with our members. The Four Seasons has been incredible in helping to develop in marketing, public relations, and human resource skills. And 6ABC and others have found ways to promote and intentionally support our members. It's knowing that these efforts, these conversations need to happen in all areas because these barriers exist in Black communities everywhere. With this in mind, we pulled together a national convening of mayors from around the country to discuss what's working, what's not, and what needs to be done to make progress. We've launched programs to increase and provide direct access to capital, developed a unique peer and mentorship program, pulled together leaders, and most importantly, leveraged our corporate partnerships for the success of our members. We are constantly sourcing opportunities and forging connections so that our members can grow their businesses and deepen their impact. These are just a few examples, but that vitality, ingenuity, and collaboration are what you get when you combine innovation with the planning and tools for growth. This is not only to pay homage to Tulsa and its anniversary, but a reminder that the way we build Black wealth is through ensuring that Black businesses are successful and thrive for generations. We have talked a bit about what we have done at the Chamber, and now we'll explore what you, as leaders in Delaware County, can do. Increasing opportunity and growing Black businesses can't just be a public sector initiative. We need corporate and private sector support for more inclusive metrics and more accessible pathways to procurement and contracts. As corporate citizens and community members, we must intentionally partner with diverse vendors and service providers to include the voices and values of our most innovative stakeholders. Black businesses, Black employees, and Black commercial corridors are suffering from the lack of access to capital. According to the Federal Reserve, 80.2% of white business owners receive at least a percentage of the funding they've requested from a bank, compared to 66.4% of minority business owners. Every step of the way in financing a business, Black business owners report trouble finding and accessing loans, loan guarantees, and equity, all of which that are essential to getting their business off the ground. What hasn't worked is assuming that a one-size-fits-all approach is appropriate or adequate to address the systemic barriers for Black businesses. This is why the AACC has met advocacy with innovation and applied it to the needs of our growing membership. So as leaders in Delaware County, it must be acknowledged that building back Black requires a rapid response, and we are clear that it can be incremental, understanding that gradual change provides tangible results. We also know that the wealth, education, and opportunity gaps are too wide to close slowly. We need to ramp up our intentionality, and we need to do so across sectors. I have no doubt that this is the room that can bring about the most change, that if intentional and strategic and comprehensive in approach, we can build back Black in Delaware County as well. The past year threatened lives, deeply impacted our livelihood, and altered our quality of life. It will take all of us to build back better from where we were, and collectivism is the key to our success. On that note, none of these efforts would be possible without supportive partners like you, my friends here in Delaware County Chamber, and the community at large. I celebrate you. Congratulations on your beautiful evening, and thank you for your commitment to a collaborative chamber partnership. Thank you.
Regina, thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time to be with us tonight and share the tremendous work that you've been doing. So now it's my honor to introduce our 2021 Company of the Year. The Giant Company believes that no matter where or how, when meals happen, families connect, and when families connect meaningfully, good happens. Starting as a small meat stand in Carlisle, Pennsylvania in 1923, the Giant Company now has nearly 190 locations across the eastern United States, 9 in Delaware County, and is one of the top private employers in Pennsylvania. The Giant Company made it a priority to serve the communities it resides in, and over the past 2 years, it played a major role in getting food to people that were in desperate need. In the early stages of the COVID-19 pandemic, Giant rolled out over $250,000 emergency grant program for small food businesses, farms, and processors, but quickly doubled that grant to $500,000 to support hunger relief organizations and children's hospitals across Pennsylvania and Virginia. Hearing that employees and the community at large were struggling with childcare, they also rolled out an additional child care grant program totaling $200,000. This year, Giant has introduced their new program where customers can donate to help local public schools fight hunger simply by rounding up to the nearest dollar on their grocery bill. Giant has pledged to match these donations up to $1.5 million. They've also introduced the Flash Food app, which allows its customers to purchase food near its best use date at significantly lowered prices. The goal was to divert food that would otherwise be put into a landfill. So far, this has diverted over 250,000 pounds of food waste from landfills and still counting. This January, it was also recognized as one of the best places to work for LGBTQ equality for the 3rd year in a row by the Human Rights Campaign Foundation. They received perfect marks in the 2021 Corporate Equality Index. The Giant Company is so much more than a grocery store. They are leaders and innovators in the communities, and I'm pleased to announce the Giant Company and this year's Delaware County Chamber of Commerce Company of the Year. Tara, if you could please join me on this stage.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tara Pierce, store manager of the Giant in Springfield, Delaware County. So hopefully a lot of you shop there. On behalf of the Giant Company, I humbly accept this award and thank the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce for its recognition and support. And as a lifelong resident of Delaware County, born and raised 42 of my 44 years, I am especially pleased and honored to accept this award. As you may know, Giant prides itself on its involvement in the local community. Some of the examples include donating over 10,000 turkeys to 27 partner food banks, our Feeding School Kids initiative, where more than $3.3 million was raised to address the issue of childhood hunger throughout local public school districts, Healing the Planet grant program, where more than $500,000 in funding was awarded in support of projects that aim to build environmental stewardship by connecting people and families to community green spaces, support environmental restoration efforts, and build community gardens. We are also pleased to announce the opening this week of a brand new e-commerce fulfillment center on Island Avenue in Philadelphia. It's a state-of-the-art facility that utilizes robotic technology in support of Giant personnel for maximum efficiency. Other initiatives we have recently launched include Instacart instant delivery in all stores, where you can get your food delivered in as fast as 30 minutes. We also now accept SNAP benefits for online purchases, and our Giant Direct Business Delivery Program. Our new business customer offers include a $50 coupon off your first order plus 90 days of free delivery. So that just names a few things that the Giant Company has done in an effort to connect families to a better future. So again, on behalf of all Giant Company employees, thank you so much for this honor.
I would now like to invite Joanne Mcfaul for our next presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Joanne Mcfaul, Market President of Keystone First Health Plan. I'm very excited to be here tonight presenting this next award, as I consider this honoree to be a colleague, a mentor, and a friend. Our 2021 Citizen of the Year has had a career of more than 30 years of professional experience and public service, is a dedicated family man, a committed community leader, and a champion for equity and diversity. Vince Gordon is the founder, president, and CEO of the Gordon Policy Group, a consulting firm focused on healthcare policy, business strategy, and building relationships among providers, payers, and community-based organizations. Recently, the Gordon Policy Group was recognized by the Philadelphia 100 Forum as one of the region's fastest-growing companies for 2021. Vince's early professional career began at Hahnemann University Hospital and the American Red Cross as a medical technologist, and he eventually joined what was to become our parent organization, AmeriHealth Caritas, where he managed business relationships with hospitals and health systems in the Southeast Pennsylvania market. From there, Vince moved into government service at the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services, where he served for over 3 years as the Deputy Secretary of the Office of Medical Assistance Programs. In addition, Vince served 6 years in the U.S. Marine Corps Reserves and was honorably discharged in 1987. At the same time he has been expanding the work of the Gordon Policy Group, Vince has also started and been instrumental in enhancing the Chamber's Business and Economic Equity Committee. Some of Vince's other community roles have included acting as a member of the Program Committee of the Foundation for Delaware County, a member of the Community Advisory Committee of Trinity Health Mercy Catholic Medical Center, a member of the YMCA of Eastern Delaware County Foundation, a past president of the Upper Darby School Board, a past member of the Council of Trustees of Cheyney University, the nation's oldest historically Black college and university, and a past president of the Board of Directors of Kid Smiles, a nonprofit pediatric dental provider serving over 100,000 uninsured and underinsured children in the West Philadelphia, Southwest Philadelphia, and Delaware County communities. I am so proud and honored to welcome to the stage Vince Gordon, our 2021 Citizen of the Year.
We have to take a picture. Take my stuff. Oh, yeah. Great. Thank you. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you. 1987, so you gave away my age. It's been a while. I was 17 when I raised my right hand to join the Marine Corps. I wrote my remarks because I wanted to stay on point, and I know as this evening goes on, but I do want to acknowledge Regina and her words. I think, one of the things that we've tried to do here at the Chamber is really understand the importance of inclusive capitalism and what that means to us as business owners and community leaders. The solution to a lot of our problems are sitting right here in this room this evening, and you as business owners and business leaders certainly should take a bow, and I hope that you incorporate some of Regina's message. Well, thank you, Trish, and the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce team and for the selection of this honor. I share this honor with my family who is here tonight, my wife and 2 out of 3 of my sons. My Gordon Policy Group team, some of them are here this evening, some of my strategic partners, and certainly my fellow honorees tonight. I want to certainly acknowledge them. And certainly I want to acknowledge my fellow board members, specifically those individuals who work with me on the Business and Economic Equity Committee here at the Delaware County Chamber. I've learned in my 30 years of healthcare experience, the healthiest communities are communities with vibrant and viable businesses that create jobs and opportunities for men and women to care for their families, while sustaining a tax base that supports schools and other community infrastructure. It's why you see a healthcare guy committed to this concept of inclusive capitalism. Economic security is a determinant of health. The Gordon Policy Group's why, or the reason we exist, is simple. We're committed to eliminating health disparities in vulnerable populations and improving the lives of people by supporting organizations that promote healthy lifestyles, education, and economic empowerment. My fellow businessmen and women, in our own way, you demonstrate the same engaged citizenship that I'm being honored for tonight. Your sustained outreach and full participation with the community at large will drive growth and inclusion in years ahead. So therefore, I share this honor with each and every one of you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well-deserved honor, Vince. I'm so grateful for your guidance and your mentorship. The Chamber is a better place because of you. Thank you. I'd now like to introduce the Vice Chair of the Chamber Board, Grant Goodrich.
Good evening, everyone. As Trish mentioned, my name is Grant Goodrich, and I'm privileged to serve as the Director of Corporate Communications at Independence Blue Cross. I'm also glad to support Trish and the excellent Chamber team as a member of the Delco Chamber Board. COVID pandemic has affected all of us in so many ways. I've been personally affected by the pandemic through the loss of loved ones. And as an employee of the largest health insurance company in the region, the pandemic also dominates my daily work life. I'm proud of all the work that Independence Blue Cross has done for members and for those throughout our community during the pandemic. But in Delaware County and throughout the region, there have been so many individuals and organizations who have stepped up to help others. That's why I'm so thrilled to be able to present tonight's Economic Development of the Year award to one of them. Someone who has been so vital to businesses during the pandemic. someone who has really kept Delco strong. That person is Laura Goodrich Cairns. Laura is well known and respected by many of you in this room tonight. In her more than 20 years in Delaware County economic development, she has earned a reputation as a natural leader, a skilled negotiator, and someone who simply knows how to get it done. In her role as Deputy Commerce Director, she serves as Executive Director for the Delaware County Economic Development Oversight Board, Delaware County Redevelopment Authority, and the Delaware County Industrial Development Authority. Laura also serves as Second Vice President for the statewide Pennsylvania Economic Development Association and the Delaware County Workforce Development Board. Clearly, Laura's made a mark on the business community in her career. And when the COVID-19 pandemic hit last spring, she stepped up even more. By April, Laura began drafting a small business grant program to help sustain Main Street businesses in Delaware County. By early May, the Delco Strong Business Grant Program was launched with $1.5 million from the Delaware County Redevelopment Program. In 37 hours in the first week of May, Delco Strong received more than 1,000 applications. Think about that. Each application had to be reviewed by hand, checked for compliance, and approved by a separate review board. In June, Delaware County had received CARES funding, and the Delaware County Council changed a competitive grant program requesting Laura and her team to fund as many applications as possible. By the end of Delco Strong 1, and there's going to be more, as you know, 75% of applications were awarded more than $5.5 million in funding. Delco Strong 2 began in July. Nonprofits were added with the support of the Foundation for the Delaware County. In October came Delco Strong 3. In December, at the request of the Chamber, Laura was asked to craft a new grant program specifically to address the businesses impacted by the December mitigation order. Within 2 months, over 275 full-service dine-in restaurants, taverns, gyms, and instructional activity centers were provided more than $3 million in funding to help sustain them through the end of the year. Through the Delco Strong program, the Commerce Center funded 70% of all applications received, and more than 1,600 businesses and nonprofits received more than $19 million in grant funding support. It's pretty amazing. It's hard to overemphasize the impact that the work Laura and her team has had on the businesses in our community as they struggle to make it through this difficult time. Hundreds of organizations and thousands of lives have been positively affected by Laura and her team. For her outstanding work, please join me in congratulating Laura Goodrich Cairns as a recipient of this year's Economic Development of the Year Award.
Thank you, Greg. That makes it sound like I did it all alone, and I didn't. So I would like to take this time to actually acknowledge those who came forward and volunteered to be able to assist in order to get these programs off the ground and actually into the hands of the small business owners to help sustain them. First and foremost, Trish McFarland at the Chamber was the first one to call and say, what do you need? Knowing that we had an anemic staff, we didn't have a plethora of people sitting waiting at the ready just to be able to help facilitate this program. So Trish and probably Volin told Jessica and Jacqueline that they were going to be spending nights and weekends working on a Delco Strong program. I'm sure they were thrilled, especially when Jessica was still pregnant, in her third trimester, no less. Second was Sarah McCullough, the chief of staff for Senator Carney, who also called up and asked, what do you need? And I said, I need bodies to be able to review material. And she thankfully gave us Alex Christie and Justin, and I think that was Justin's first week of work, was hearing from me on exactly what he needed to do to help us with that program. Also from Senator Killian's office, we had John McNichol, who also helped. And these folks literally did give up nights and weekends in order to be able to process applications for that first round, and then became team members as we worked to promote and make sure that every small business owner in Delaware County was aware of this program. Second of all, we had Cheryl McDonald from our office who came in. We sat at an 8-foot table on opposite sides while we processed additional applications. And Stella Economides gave up her time and literally would ACH the payments out, spending 9 hours at a time doing buckets of transactions to the grants that had been approved. When Delco Strong 2 came along and our council was going to be the first in the region, the only direct CARES allocation county in the Southeast to actually offer a support program for nonprofits, I said, I don't know anything about nonprofits. And so we thankfully called up the foundation of Delaware County and Frances Sheehan, and she gladly stepped up and probably told Joanne and Michiko that they were also going to be a part of this program, and they also became part of my grant bubble. I also can't ignore our county team. John Lichtenstein was amazing and would spend hours on the phone with me going over what exactly defensibly a potential program being auditly defensible at the federal level would look like, especially when we didn't know what CARES funding was going to be regulated by. Adrian Moravsky, who helped us to promote program. Julie Del Muto, who created the dashboard so we could actually see what the effect was as we spread the monies through the county. And her colleague Amanda Hagan, who also helped us with the CHIRP program as well. Lastly, I can't ignore the fact that there would not be a program if we did not have Delaware County Council. We were the only county, out of our suburban counterparts, we funded more small businesses per capita or per business unit than our counterparts did. We had the highest rate of successful applications, because this council turned around and said, fund as many as possible. And I especially credit that to the leadership of Councilwoman Elaine Paul Schaefer, who worked to build consensus not only within our redevelopment authority at the time of need before CARES funding was available, but also after the fact, making sure that she built consensus among her colleagues to be able to give the support to sustain the small businesses through this pandemic. And even took some heat for it, unfortunately, by literally listing regulations at a council meeting that I had created, not her, that spread, and she took some heat for it, unfortunately. That's the other thing about it. Delaware County Council, we presented them a program, they turned around and said, okay, that's great, and then expected us to follow through on that. Not once did we hear from them in terms of who should we fund, how much we should give, or, has this person applied? They gave us the autonomy to do the work and literally waited until after the funding was out the door in order to see who was granted money. They stayed out of the process completely. The last thing I'll leave you with is that we've started actually circling back to these award winners and seeing who's still working, which businesses are still viable. And at this count, at the moment, we have figured it's about 93% are still alive. But what I will say to you is we're going through this economic development process on evaluating what economic development is in Delaware County. There is a $2 billion leakage in retail sales from citizens to consumer goods. So please consider to shop small this holiday season. Thank you.
Congratulations, Laura. Now I'd like to introduce Caitlin Ganley. Caitlin? Good evening. My name is Caitlin Ganley, and I'm the Senior Director of Government Affairs at Comcast. We are also a gold sponsor tonight and honored to be here to present the 2021 Community Impact Award. The Citizen Corps of Delaware County provides education, training, and volunteer opportunities to engage all citizens in making our community safer, stronger, and better prepared for emergencies and disasters of all types, including threats of terrorism, crime, public health emergencies, natural, man-made, and technological disasters by improving preparedness, mitigation, response, and recovery efforts. Since the beginning of the pandemic, volunteers have given well over 100,000 hours of their own time to keep the residents of Delaware County safe.
Through their efforts, lives have been saved. Volunteers participated in many roles at the Emergency Operations Center at Glen Mills School, our nationally recognized first responder refuge, a large volunteer recruitment center preparing for the alternate care site. They helped at food drives and collection events, food pantry support, PPE organization and distribution, COVID testing, flu clinics, public education events, and COVID immunizations in county clinics, and also in our local hospital settings. No other county in Pennsylvania organized and utilized volunteers like Delaware County did. The Citizens Corps were vital in helping the Chamber get 2,250 PPE kits packed and distributed to Delaware County businesses and child care centers. CCDC has assisted the Delaware County COVID-19 Task Force to administer 157,286 vaccines and 4,519 COVID-19 tests as of October 31st. And the work continues and hasn't stopped. Please help me in welcoming the Citizen Corps of Delaware County.
Well, thank you. My name is Ed Klein, the former Volunteer Management Coordinator for Delaware County Department of Emergency Services, currently serving the medical countermeasures role, but certainly over the last 11 years, we've had a lot to do with the pandemic. So go Blue Army, some of our volunteers back there tonight. Thank you for being here. Of course, I'm here to represent 3,510 Citizen Corps of Delaware County members who are also all citizens of Delaware County. Which is an important concept. The CCDC, as we're called, includes our Medical Reserve Corps, our Community Emergency Response Teams, our Delaware County Animal Response Teams, our Amateur Radio Team, Critical Incident and Stress Management, Disaster Crisis Outreach, and many other VOAD or voluntary organizations active in disaster groups like the Salvation Army and the Red Cross. We were organized in the Special Operations Division of the Delaware County Department of Emergency Services over 11 years ago. So it's been quite a trip since we started off with a handful of volunteers. One of our first is here tonight, Anne-Marie Favinger. Since then, we've had to deal with this wonderful pandemic, right? It's been 2 years since we started, and you heard that long list of different things we've done, not just immunizations, 157,000 and counting, but many other things, including the testing, the PPE kits that the Chamber and Delco Strong were involved with. It was all very important. And we have now eclipsed 103,000 hours this calendar year, not even including 2020, which is absolutely a Herculean effort among our volunteers that, again, are with us in our community. And this community concept is vital because what we're doing is we're empowering, engaging, training, and educating our own citizens to solve these really large mountain problems like immunizing the entire population. While doing that, that really enforces our ability to overcome any problem. Might be a mass care from a disaster or hurricane or flooding like we've seen recently during Ida, or other event coming down the road that we don't even talk about yet. Similarly with COVID, before we even talked about it, our group was ready for pill dispensing for an anthrax attack or similar event. And through our training in that way, we were prepared to overcome this event. And all those volunteer hours, even before we started, is what made the real difference. So come out and volunteer. Our medical countermeasures program really depends on the volunteers. It depends on their ability to respond to the needs of the community, as we've seen through the phased response early on in 2021, and then as it opened up to the entire population. And now we see a recurrence again with boosters and vaccinating those 5 to 11 years of age. So again, we're here in the holiday season and volunteers are out supporting the community in ways like never before. Even before the pandemic, Delaware County and the city of Chicago were the only jurisdictions in the United States of America that reached the CDC level of established to provide this type of service. So we are quite proud of our Medical Reserve Corps, which is the backbone of our Citizen Corps, our Medical Countermeasures Program, and everything we've done in Delaware County as we've done it like no other county in Pennsylvania. Thank you very much for this great honor, and thank you to Trish and everybody at the Chamber and all of you. Thank you.
During the pandemic, the Chamber worked very closely with the Citizen Corps under Ed's leadership. We spent a lot of hours trying to figure out the logistics for the PPE kit. So Ed, thank you for bearing with us through that and for all you do. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Francis Sheehan to introduce our next award.
Thank you, Trish. My name is Francis Sheehan. I'm the president of the Foundation for Delaware County. And I'm going to go off script for a second because we're running a little bit ahead of schedule. Because I want to acknowledge the Blue Army, and I want everybody in this room to recognize the only reason we are able to be here tonight in person was because of the people at that table who put in hours and hours and weeks ever since the pandemic started and we had the vaccine available so that all of us in this room would have access to the vaccine so we could get back here tonight in person. Please, let's give them the standing ovation they deserve. Thank you so much. Delaware County can be so proud of what we have accomplished over this last 18, 19, 20 months. Tonight, I'm here to present the Nonprofit Award. It gives me tremendous pleasure to recognize one of the most highly regarded nonprofit organizations on the Eastern Seaboard, Natural Lands. As the Greater Philadelphia region's oldest and largest land conservation organization, Natural Lands, which is member-supported, has preserved more than 125,000 acres, including 42 nature preserves and 1 public garden totaling more than 23,000 acres. Nearly 5 million people live within 5 miles of land under Natural Lands' permanent protection. Since the beginning of the COVID pandemic, Natural Lands has welcomed hundreds of thousands of people to their nature preserves, all of which remained open through lockdown. Visitation increased 3, 4, even 5 times compared to previous years. Many neighbors discovered or rediscovered the outdoors as a safe place to exercise, to connect with friends, and to find solace. And I know from experience, because my husband and I visited the Hildesee Preserve and the Wawa Preserve outside of Media, as well as the Chestland Preserve and the Stroud Preserve out in Chester County. Every acre of open space cleans the air we breathe, it filters the water we drink, and it makes us more resilient in the face of increasingly intense storms. Led by Delaware County's resident, Oliver Bass, Natural Lands works to protect land and supports partners like Delaware County that pursue their own open space initiatives. Though Natural Lands work is regional in scope, its headquarters is at its Hildesee Preserve, which is a 55-acre oasis of green space in Marple Township, one of several properties it has preserved in the county. Please join me in congratulating the Delaware County Chamber of Commerce's 2021 Nonprofit of the Year, Natural Lands.
Thank you, Francis. I always hate talking after Francis. It's one of the worst jobs there is. On behalf of everyone at Natural Lands, thank you so much to the Chamber of Commerce Board, to Francis especially, who has been such a tremendous partner and friend, and to repay the compliment, one of the most respected and admired leaders on the Eastern Seaboard, in my book. Francis did a great job of explaining what Natural Lands does at the regional scale, and we work throughout Eastern Pennsylvania and Southern New Jersey, but I just want to tell you a little bit more about our work here in Delaware County, which, as Francis said, has been my home in Springfield for the last almost 25 years and is the home of our headquarters. So in addition to the two preserves that she mentioned, Hildesea Farm and the Wawa Preserve, we have another preserve in the county. We have 12 other privately owned properties that are preserved under kind of a permanent protection agreement with the owner. So we have a fairly broad impact in the county. We also, in fact, started here. Our very first conservation project took place in 1953 at what is now the John Hines National Wildlife Refuge in Tinicum. So that's where it all began. And I know you've all seen it because you drive by it on 95 as you go past the airport. A really tremendous, the largest urban wildlife refuge in the country. And we have also been assisting a number of municipalities, communities in Delaware County pursue their own conservation goals, to include Middletown Township and Chester Heights Borough, where we're working on trail plans. We're working in the city of Chester right now to help improve access to the waterfront for the city's residents with a number of partners and a great project there. And I thought I'd take this opportunity to announce another project that we're very excited about because it's incredibly relevant, because it's happening at Darby Creek, which is literally a stone's throw from where we're gathered. Thanks to support from County Council and their new Greenways Open Space Program. Thank you, Council. We will be working with the Darby Creek Valleys Association to develop a comprehensive and wide-ranging watershed plan for the entirety of the Darby Creek watershed, with a specific focus on helping communities be more resilient in the face of the increased storms, the drastic flooding that so many of those communities have been experiencing, especially downstream here in Delaware County. So that process will be getting underway fairly soon, and it will involve a lot of public input. We'll be holding open houses, focus groups, doing stakeholder interviews. So if you get one of those invitations, I really hope you'll say yes, because the strength of that plan depends on the county's input, the community's input, the people in the county's input. So with that, thank you. I'll extend one last invitation, which if you haven't been to Hildesea Preserve, if you haven't been to Wawa Preserve, or any of our others, please come out and visit us. You can find all of them on our website. They're open 7 days a week, free of charge always, beautiful places to get away, and we would love to see you there. Thank you very much.
Congratulations on a well-deserved honor. Now I'd like to welcome Bill Gowie to present our next award.
Thank you, Trish. Good evening. I am Bill Gowie, the managing partner of Bars Gowie, Amon and Foltz, and the silver sponsor this evening, and a proud member of our next honoree. I am very honored to be presenting the 2021 Business Association of the Year Award. The Haverford Partnership for Economic Development is a partnership between Haverford Township, businesses and property owners, and township residents. HPED fosters economic growth in Haverford Township by supporting local businesses in a variety of ways, promoting Haverford Township as a destination, hosting events such as Moonlight Dining on the Boulevard and the Haverford Home and Garden Show, and revitalizing our business districts and public spaces. The HPD is vital to the Haverford business community, especially through the pandemic. They continue to connect businesses virtually and be a source of small businesses. The HPD even started a gift card program in the fall of 2020 where Discover Haverford gift cards have been sold and have been redeemed at numerous locations throughout Haverford. You can still purchase and redeem gift cards at over 30 businesses. At this time, I'd like to congratulate and welcome Jean Angel, the Executive Director of the Haverford Partnership for Economic Development, to the stage.
Thank you to the Delco Chamber for recognizing the work of HPD and for all that you do to support businesses in Delaware County. I'll quickly show you some of the work that we've done. We prepared a couple slides before I do some thank yous. So we've done streetscaping projects, including 80 planters and wayfinding signs, new benches and trash cans. We've also encouraged businesses to improve the business districts through our holiday decorating contest, our windows, design consultations, and we're developing a matching facade grant program with the Haverford Township. We do shop local events, and including the Haverford Home and Garden Show, which is coming up on March 6th. We do shop local programs, as Bill mentioned, the Keep It Local gift card program. We have 35 businesses participating there. And we've done additional support for businesses like business workshops, meet and greet events. We do our annual awards of excellence and advocacy. For example, we really asked the township to provide additional space for outdoor dining during the pandemic. So that's that last picture. We recently did a Haverford Township Jobs Fair. We had a bunch of employers, and I think 30 employers and 60 or 70 applicants who came, and that was in October, and that was very successful. We have a Discover Haverford website, which promotes the township as a shopping dining destination, is also kind of a clearinghouse of information for residents. Just want to mention that we're going to have a name change. So we've decided, we've been using Discover Haverford for our website and for many of our programs. We've decided to use that as our primary marketing name. So we will be Discover Haverford, doing business as Discover Haverford, but maintaining HPD as our legal name. So tonight is my 60th birthday. And as I get older, I'm more appreciative of all the opportunities that I've been given to be involved with the revitalization of Haverford Township in meaningful ways, as Executive Director of HPD and also as a volunteer. Besides parenting, nothing has been more satisfying to me than loving my community and working to make it a better place. This work, of course, is a team effort of equally passionate, involved players, and I want to recognize some of them first. All of our board members, particularly good group right now with a lot of new energy. Our new president, Mike Malik, who couldn't be here tonight, but tonight we have at our table John Druin, Derek Koffel, George Lavin, and Janice Brown. Haverford Township, who provides notable funding for HPD and has been a supportive partner in this work. Our township manager, Dave Burbin, could not be here, but we have Amy Cuthbertson, who's our assistant township manager and really is an A+ professional. We also rely on our sponsors and who've shown their commitment to HPD by making generous donations. We have a few of our 20+ platinum sponsors here tonight as guests: Wagner Real Estate, House Cup Coffee Roasters, Lavin Law Associates, and Bill Gowie, who's here, Bars Gowie, Eamon Foltz. So thank you. I'm sure you've all heard the Margaret Mead quote, "Never doubt that a group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has." The transformation of Haverford Township into a beautiful, thriving business community cannot be attributed to HPD alone. It's a result of an ongoing chain of committed volunteers, community leaders, and business investors. I came across a series of photos from the Facelift Havertown project, which was launched in 1966 by Realtor Arthur Wagner as chair of the Optimist Club. Later, Wagner Real Estate was a founding member of HPD, and Arthur's son Graham served on the HPD board for the first several years. Today, Arthur's grandson Tyler, here with us tonight, continues the tradition as a platinum sponsor of HPD. Haverford Township has been blessed with a tradition of volunteerism and civic engagement, starting with our 5 volunteer fire companies, some which have been in operation for over 100 years, to the Scouts and the Rotary Club and the Haverford Township Civic Council, which was formed over 65 years ago and continues to serve as a launching pad for many civic initiatives. Back in 2005, Don Kelly, who was then president of the Haverford Township Civic Council, launched a task force for business revitalization with over 50 volunteers to look at best practices, consumer needs, business perspectives, and to develop recommendations. Don, John Druin, and I served on the leadership team for that task force. Don was quoted in a 2005 article in the News of Delaware County saying, "So much can be done, it just takes a proactive attitude." This is reminiscent of a favorite quote of mine from Bernard Shaw: "People who say it cannot be done should not get in the way of the people who are doing it." In 2010, after 5 years of work, HPD was founded as its own nonprofit and has evolved over the last 11 years to be a powerful change agent in Haverford Township. Don has been actively involved with this work for the past 16 years. I really want to celebrate Don's vision and commitment tonight, as we would not be where we are today without his hard work and dedication. Sorry, I'm a crier. Don, can you stand up so we can give you a round of applause? Thank you.
Congratulations, Jean, and happy birthday. So now I would like to introduce Amy Kate Mooney, who's the chair of our Young Professionals, to introduce our next award. Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Kate Mooney, and I'm the Vice President of Catholic Community Choir and the Chair of the Young Professionals of Delaware County Chamber of Commerce. I'm happy to be here with all of you tonight and celebrate the great honorees for this year's annual dinner. Tonight, I have the great privilege of introducing our Young Professional of the Year, Tom McGarrigle Jr. After joining the Chamber, Tom was one of the first individuals I met within the Young Professionals Committee. From the very start, Tom was welcoming, friendly, and without a doubt, entertaining. Tom has always kept our committee meetings fun and light while making sure the Young Professional Committee stayed focused on every event and opportunity to support the young professionals and the Chamber as a whole. Tom has certainly left his mark on the young professionals. From his entertaining and creative videos, desire to learn how to dance and sing or be the next lead role in a Catholic Community Choir musical, and of course his competitive nature, Tom has been a vital part of the young professionals for many years, adding both humor and knowledge that would benefit us all. Did I mention Tom got a technical foul at our latest kickball tournament this past June? Yes, a technical foul when things may have gotten a little intense. Technical fouls aside, Tom is most deserving of being the Young Professional of the Year. Tom has been serving this committee long before me, most recently as Chairman Emeritus, and he continues to give his time and talents whenever he can. Whether you're planning events and programs for the young professionals,
having fun at an event with Tom, having a serious conversation, or Tom simply being there as a friend when you're going through a challenging business situation. Tom has been there, and he continues to support not only all that the YPs do, but all that the businesses and the members of the chamber do. Tom joined Brinker Simpson in 2007, shortly after receiving his degree in accounting from St. Joe's University. Tom specializes in tax planning for small business owners and high net worth individuals, preparation of corporation and personal income tax returns, and business planning and consulting. This past August, Tom was promoted to partner at Brinker Simpson and Company. Outside of being at Brinker Simpson and his time with the young professionals, Tom is very dedicated to many organizations in our community. Tom serves on the board of the Foundation for Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, is the treasurer for the Greater Springfield Business Association, and is on the board for the YMCA Eastern Delaware County, to name a few. Tom lives in Springfield with his wife Mallory and their children Madeline and Tommy. Please join me in congratulating the 2021 Young Professional of the Year, Tom McGarrigle Jr.
Thank you. Okay, full disclosure, it's not my birthday. I don't have any deep message to share, I don't think, and I have no slideshow. But to answer your question, if you look at the top picture, yes, that is the swaggiest suit you've ever seen, and you can get it if you go to the suit supply location in the King of Prussia Mall. Wow, I'm so honored and humbled to be up here right now. Before I get to my speech, I just want to thank the Chamber for this award. Trish and her staff do an amazing job year in, year out. So if everyone doesn't mind, let's give them a round of applause for all they do for us. I can tell you that me winning an award like this has much less to do with me personally and much more to do with the incredible people who have helped shape my life. So I'm just going to thank a bunch of people, many of whom are here tonight. First off, my parents, Tom and Michelle McGarrigle. I've had so many good things happen to me in my life, and I credit most of that to my parents and the lessons they taught me and my brothers. My father lost his father when he was 13 years old, leaving his mother with 8 children to raise on their own, and he had to work for everything he's gotten in his life. Him and my mother taught us to work hard, take personal accountability, and never make excuses. And those lessons have served us well. Thank you both. I love you. My brothers, Pat and Dan, are here with their lovely wives. Even though I'm the oldest brother, I just hope you guys have learned as much from me as I have from you. My brother, Pat, loves to tell people that I beat him up every day growing up until one day he got stronger than me and beat the crap out of me, at which point I never wanted to fight again. But I'm here to set the record straight once and for all. I did beat him up every day growing up, but then I mellowed out around 14 or 15 years old and didn't want to fight. Then 2 years passed and we had a heated basketball game in the backyard, at which point he did beat the crap out of me. I love you both. My wife Mallory's in attendance. My wife just loves being the center of attention. I just wish we had one of those spotlights we could shine on her right now. She's gonna kill me for that one. But in all seriousness, I couldn't be more grateful to have you as my partner in life and the mother of our 2 children. My wife is a fiery Italian woman, and I'm glad she is, because if I wasn't deathly afraid of her, I may not have ever straightened myself out. I love you. I've had the same main group of friends since I was about 10 years old, and some of them are here tonight for me. When I was growing up, and honestly through high school, I was someone who took myself way too seriously, and my friends couldn't have been more different. And that was one of the best lessons I could ever learn from them. So, you know, the people that work with me, I probably can't believe I used to take myself seriously because they have to work with me every day. But you can thank those guys at table 12 for that. But seriously, guys, I love you. Thank you for everything. I have some of my coworkers here from Brinker Simpson. When I started the firm 14 years ago, I was the most immature 22-year-old that you could ever meet. But Bob Simpson took a chance on me. Probably didn't hurt that my dad was a rising political star, but Bob, you took a chance anyway, and I couldn't be more grateful. You know, through the years, Bob's been patient with me, and he's taught me a great deal about how to be a professional. Sincerely, Bob, thank you for everything. The other mentor I've had throughout my career is another partner at the firm and Bob's cousin, Michael. Having Mike Simpson as your mentor is like having Michael Scott from The Office as your mentor. He wants all of the credit for all of my successes, but none of the blame for any of my mistakes. So everyone, he's been waiting for this for a long time. Can everyone just give Mike a round of applause for like 5 seconds? Brinker Simpson really is the best place anyone could ever work. When I look at those few tables over there, I don't see coworkers. You know, I see the mentors I mentioned just now. I see a lot of friends. A lot of the young people showed up tonight, and my favorite part of my job is getting to mentor the younger folks at the firm because I was such a knucklehead. I loved helping these younger people try to avoid some of the pitfalls I fell into, but you know, they know how much I love them. I tell them every day. When they get upset, I sing Justin Bieber to them. If they're really lucky, I might hit them with my patented shoulder shimmy that they love so much. But seriously, Brinker Simpson's more than a company. It's a family, and I couldn't be more grateful to be part of it. So it feels surreal to be up here as I reflect on my life. Not many people notice, but I've struggled with anxiety for most of my life. And when you're a guy from Delco who's dealing with anxiety, you don't open up about it. You go to the bar and you have 20 beers. So to the bar I went. But now I had 2 problems. Not only was I not dealing with my anxiety in a healthy way, but as someone with an addictive personality, I also had a drinking problem. So around 5 years ago, I kind of hit the end of the road for myself, and I realized I just couldn't do it on my own. I had to get help. And I stand here now in the best mental health of my life and nearly 4 years sober. I thought it was important that I share with you my struggles because as I look at this audience, I'd be willing to bet that there are many people here who either have a loved one or they themselves are struggling with mental health and or addiction. And I think it's important for these people to know that you're not alone in your struggle. There are people who want to help you, and there are even more people who are going through similar things. And if you can learn to open your heart to others and share what you're going through, not only can you get better, but special things will start happening in your life. Finally, I want to thank God, our Lord and Creator. When people talk about faith, it's going to draw some eye rolls from the crowd. And I know that because I, for a very long time, was one of those people who couldn't wrap my head around how people believed in God. And then something funny happened this year. After 14 years of pouring my blood, sweat, and tears into Brinker Simpson, I became an equity partner. And I looked at my life and couldn't believe everything I had. A beautiful family, loving and supportive family and friends, ownership in a highly successful CPA firm. But in my heart, I knew something was missing. And that something was a relationship with God. The most eye-opening thing that I've realized in this past year is that there's nothing in this secular world that will ever truly satisfy us. Only a relationship with God can give us the deeper meaning and greater purpose that we all crave in our lives. And I pray that He will walk with you like He has with me. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks again to the Chamber for this incredible honor.
Well deserved, Tom, and I'm sorry to his family and friends. So we're at the conclusion of our dinner. Before you all leave tonight, I want to share something really exciting that we're going to publicly announce tomorrow. We have had the honor to be able to add a vendor village to the holiday festival at Rose Tree Park. So the Lights at Rose Tree Park is going to have a vendor village this year. It's been a team effort. And we've been quietly working on it for the past 3 weeks since we got approval. We're using with the Commerce Center and the Delaware County Parks. So you will see a big push come out tomorrow. If you know somebody that makes something or is a crafter or sells something that wants to be a part of this exclusive vendor village, have them look on our social media. Tomorrow it's going to be the Holiday Village at Rose Tree Park. So we're really excited to be able to introduce that. And since you're all here tonight, we'll let you in on that little secret. So that website is live and we'll share that with everybody. So if you are around the first 3 Saturdays in December, make sure you come and check it out. We'll have food trucks and vendors. Imagine what's at Dilworth Town Plaza in Center City, and we will have it right here in Delaware County. So we're really super excited for that. And that's just one of the many partnerships that we have in Delaware County. So I hope you all leave here tonight taking at least one thing away with you as we embrace our new normal and we begin to leave the pandemic behind. Thank you all for joining us, and many thanks to our sponsors for their continued belief in Delaware County Chamber of Commerce, and to all of you for joining us, and the many accomplishments of our deserving honorees. So there's dessert in the back for those of you that want to stay and network and mingle and see people that we haven't seen in almost 2 years. But for those of you who've had enough, have a safe drive home. And we will see you at the next event. Thank you for your time tonight.